going? It's your girl Wens.
And your boy Brans.
And we're back with another episode. And today we're going to be talking about...
Drum roll. We're going to be talking about... I forgot. No, okay. Drum roll. We're going to talk about how to deal and how to detach yourself from toxic environments.
From like negative energy, situations, and people.
Yes, and basically how you basically just how you can when you can distance yourself and how to basically create boundaries, right?
Yes.
Because that's basically, to me, that's what it is. When you're dealing with negative energy, I feel like it kind of just comes down to how you create your boundaries, right?
Yeah,
and how much
definitely.
you allow.
Yes, just how to make you see when a situation isn't okay or is turning into a toxic or negative environment or just situation in general.
Yeah, okay, I like doing that. Basically saying when it's time to throw the white flag, right?
Yes.
So what are some things that you do?
So to begin, I feel recognizing when you're in a negative energy or with a negative person, that's the first step to setting your boundaries and to getting away from that. Yeah. So for example, with a person, if you have a person in your life who's constantly negative and you take it and you brush it aside constantly, you kind of blind yourself into seeing that, you know. You're oh, you can't just brush it off, it's okay, you know, they don't mean it like that. But I feel you have to kind of realize people show you who they really are. Yeah. Right off the bat, they'll show you. Don't just brush it off or see it as something else, especially if you're like me. I'm a very kind person, and I feel I'm very hopeful. Yes. And I always say the good in people, no matter what sides they've shown me, I always no, but I still have hope they're gonna be a good person. No,
you're an empath. We're
yeah,
empaths.
exactly.
You feel for them, right?
Yes, so I always have that hope in me. And even though they've done me dirty so many times, I'm no, this time, she seemed genuine. You know, I just feel it. But sadly, that's...
It's always the same outcome.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Sadly, for me in my situations, it's been just the same outcome. And I've learned to really recognize, you know what, this person has constantly shown me who they are, and I choose not to see it, you know. So then finally putting down my foot and saying no, they posted this for a reason, or they did this for a reason. It's not I'm not sugarcoating nothing no more. Just seeing it for what it is has helped me to really set my boundaries and know my worth and know who I let in my circle.
I love that. Yeah, once you set boundaries, that makes it so much easier for you to actually let go. Yeah, that makes sense. You can forget about something, but do you really forget about it?
Yeah, exactly.
No, right? It's not until you create a boundary.
Yes.
For me, it's a little more different, just because I am nice. I feel I'm nice, but I feel I don't tolerate disrespect that. And to me, if you're being negative and if you're causing my environment to get clouded with negative, to me that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I get offended. And I will press you.
Yes.
I will press you. So for my situation, it's more I've seen family members go through that. Close loved ones. You said, just being an outsider looking into it, how even you said, they show this person who they are from the beginning, and I keep on telling them, and they're just no, that's my friend or whatever, right? And it's just no, I've seen people show you who they are from the beginning. Yes. They try to kind of dress it as a joke.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
It's not funny, bitch. You'll get slapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's always a truth into jokes, guys.
Yes.
Always. And keep that in mind. We said, just people are gonna show you off the bat. And we all feel it. You feel this weird type of energy, but many of us are just oh, it's just how they are.
Yeah,
you
especially
know?
if you're an empath, I feel you pick up on it like this.
Yes.
Me, don't get me wrong, I'll pick up on something quick. If you're sending me something, I'll pick up on it quick, but I'll double check to make sure it's not. But a lot of times it's it is what you're feeling. My gut feeling is usually right when it's about that. And
I've been so wrong with that, not to trust my gut and just to go with that empathetic side of me and no, they're just they're just like that. And other people tell you, I feel other people reassuring you no, that's just how they are, they don't mean it. That kind of messes up with your thoughts, because that's what happened to me. It would just mess up with my thoughts. So then simply learning, you said, to trust my gut really helped me a lot. And yeah, I agree, just we're both empaths, but there's two different kinds too. Brans can see it from the bat, right away, type of person you are, and just,
I kind of I feel it.
Yeah, you're very good with your intuition.
Yes, I'm very intuitive when it's when it comes to negative and harmful things. I don't know, I feel I'm very I pick up on it fast. And I'm no.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I feel one more thing too, it's when you're dealing with like a negative person, ask yourself like, do they bring value into your life? Like, what are they bringing to the table? Like, if you're such an incredibly kind person and, you know, just have a big heart, you're obviously bringing something to the table. You know, if you're the one lifting your group up and they're not lifting you up back, like, is that really a group you want to be with? Is that the really kind of friend you want to have? You know, you have to surround yourself with people who just lift you up all the time.
Who like push your way, not only your way, but push their way too. And like people, there's just people like that. Like, like unfortunately, there's people who can carry your like other people's weight, and there's people who aren't, right? And I feel like that's why you have to keep an eye out for, like, whenever like people want to take advantage of like, someone who can, like, you know, lift others while it's not being reciprocated. And I feel like that is such like a toxic and negative cycle to like just even allow to even happen. Yeah,
and like I feel like we've all had like some friends like that at a point, and we choose like to be like, oh no, like they're just a little discouraged and this and that. But like you have to see really like, okay, what type of friends you have. And it's like that saying, like, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are.
Yes.
And honestly, like, even though you might be the nice one in the group, but your friends are always negative, like unconsciously you're gonna become a negative person yourself, because like you're just receiving all this negative energy, and energy's transfer, and we've talked about this, like how real energies are. So eventually you're gonna be this cynical, like doubtful, like negative person without you even realizing it. So just really being aware of the people you surround yourself with, and just like what energy they're bringing and what they're offering to you.
Yes, and just think of it like your like energy, your aura, like we're like sponges. Like we soak up everything we're around. Like, you know, a sponge will soak up water. Like that's how we are. Like we'll soak up bad energy. And that's like really important, like for you to like know when it's the right time to walk away, because I feel like it can only get so far to like it's like, you know, you hit rock bottom basically.
Yes, definitely. And like, why would you just want to surround yourself by like negative people who don't lift you up when all you do is lift like them up? Like you're literally filling up somebody else's cup, and when yours is like half empty, you know. So why would you want that?
Yes, and then going back to the like your question about like how we deal with a negative person, I feel like for me, you know how like I was just saying how like I'm more like strong-minded and more like I get more offended, like I'll get aggressive, and that's just to like prior to like other experiences with, like you said, with other people, like it has always been the same outcome, or you know, when it comes to like that. And I learned the hard way, like life has taught me that like people don't change. Unfortunately, like people can change, but it's a choice, and not many people, you know, follow the choices that they want. So that's why like that's what life has taught me, that it's a choice to be positive and not negative, and it's also a choice to be surrounded with that or not be surrounded with it. And that's why like I'm very like, I stand on business when I say this, like, no, like you're not gonna come and just rub my peace anymore. Like I've had enough of that, and that's why like I get like very like uptight, because I work hard for me to be in this like you know, this like positive mindset. So I do get offended a lot when you know that happens. Yes,
definitely. And I can definitely see that. I feel each person's experience shapes them differently. So you know, some of us are probably like Brans, who can see right away through people, and you know, that's such an amazing quality to have. But then if you're like me, that, you know, my experiences have shown me to like just really be there for people and just be like that shoulder for them to cry on, no matter like how dirty they've done to me, just because like of my experiences, that kind of like fucks you over. So I've really had to work so hard in that field, you know, like really like protecting my energy and just not letting like so many people take advantage of it, because I feel like my entire life I've always been the one to give like
but, your life, right? Like I know what you mean.
But like, who the fuck has been there for me? Like truly, like I've done so many stuff for so many people, you know, like especially like friends, and like at the end it wasn't like reciprocated, you know. And that's sad.
Yeah, and that's crazy, because that's really what was going on with me too, like and that's why like I started this whole like healing journey, because I'm like, I was literally like tired of people like kind of like stealing my light and like not giving it back, you know, because I'm the type of person like I'll start from zero, like, you know, and I feel like not like that's very like, I don't know how to say it, but like it's kind of like people in a way get jealous, and like in that like jealousy turns into like negativity. Because sometimes I don't know, like I just feel like people like can't be happy for other people, right? You just get tired basically.
Eventually you're gonna have your breaking point, definitely.
And that's what literally led me to like start like this healing journey, because once I started this healing journey, like I just started like feeling and like just seeing things like, and just knowing what's right for me and what's not wrong, or what's wrong for me, you know.
Yes, I love that. And sad thing is that, like Brand said, like some people just don't change. And you know what? Like, don't make it your job to change people. Like, just see them for what they are. And at the end of the day, like there's so many people like in this world. You still haven't even met half the people you're going to meet in your lifetime. So honestly, like really learn who's valuable enough to be in your circle, to be in your life. And it's so much better to have a smaller circle than a bigger one with fake people around you who just don't have good intentions, you know, for you.
No, literally.
And I feel like just know that if you're a good person with good intentions and a pure heart, you will find your people. So it's okay, you know, to go from having like 200 friends to like zero, and like Brand said, start from zero again, because you're going to find your authentic friends. You're going to find real people who genuinely want the best for you. So then don't be scared to let go of those people in your life who aren't bringing, like I said, value into your life. Don't be scared, you know, to cut them off, you know, to stand your ground. And it's as simple as like, you know, telling people, like, you don't have to give them a whole explanation, but it's as simple as telling people like, hey, honestly, like we're not in the same mindset anymore. Like I'm doing my own thing, you know, I've grown and I just have different goals in life, and we're just sadly not there anymore. And you know, that's okay, because as human beings, we're meant to evolve. You're meant to grow. You're not meant to stay in the same fucking place with the same people. Like you have to grow and evolve in this life if you genuinely want to be happy and have a fulfilling life.
Yeah, and I feel like also necessarily that doesn't have to be like a negative thing. Because, and you know, I'm talking from experience, because I, like, you know, I have to walk away from people who I really care about just because, you know, they started clouding my aura, or just I genuinely, like, my gut didn't feel right. So like, you know, it doesn't like have to be a negative thing. Like I still have and appreciate all the memories I've had with certain people, even though they're no longer in my life and no longer even in the same atmosphere as me. Like I will always cherish what we had, but you know, that's no longer who I am. And you can, it's your choice to make it into however you want to change it, but it doesn't have to be into a negative, you know. Like you can definitely turn it around.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely agree with that part. Like, don't see it as something sad. Like, oh, but I've known this person for years, you know, this and that. Like, Brand said, like, cherish those memories, you know, learn the lessons from that. And, like, honestly, I feel like the people who are set in your life are either a blessing or a lesson. So just take it for that. Like, you know, this person taught me, you know, how I don't want to be treated, or how I do want to be treated. And just go on from that and, you know, appreciate what you guys had. And just, you know, start your own new path and just find like your true happiness and your true circle, and just what's gonna make you happy, and people who are gonna lift you up just the same as you do to others.
And then also now going back into like a different type of like setting, like going back to like now, like when it comes to like relationships, like what are some things that you do to not be negative? Or
my experience, if you're someone who's been in like a relationship for a long time, I know people, like I said, we grow and we evolve, and sometimes like partners get distant. So I feel like in that situation, not like necessarily like toxic like relationship, but like knowing like the value of yourself and your energy. Like sometimes your partner gets just so used to the person you were when you guys met, but you have to realize like you grow, like you get new stuff that you like, you become a whole different person. And that was my situation in my healing journey. Like I started to become a whole different person from the person, you know, my partner met in the beginning. So I had to like put down my foot and tell him like, hey, like back then like this was okay for me, but now it's not. Like now I have higher expectations. Now I know more of my value, and now like I'm in such a better place than I was before. So like now it isn't like, it isn't a need, it's like it's an expectation that I expect you to do these things for me. I expect this from you, and like I expect this from our relationship. So really, like I said, knowing your value in a relationship is really important too, because that ultimately defines you, and that's what like helps your relationship like just flourish and grow. And that's like what I learned with my biggest lessons is like it's okay to grow in a relationship, but just like really know like your value to in it, and don't become so dependent of the other person, because you're allowed to have your individuality, and individuality is what makes you a beautiful person.
I love that. You literally so popped off. Period, queen.
Thanks. And how about you? In your experiences in relationships, like
well, first of all, like for me, like what I've learned in those relationships was that I definitely held people higher than they held me in a pedestal, and I feel like that was where like I got fucked over. Like Like, I'm like where I said, like, before I went to my healing
Yeah.
journey, I was the same way where I was trying to fill up this person's cup when mine wasn't even full.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, it's like, I'm the same way where, like, I try to see the good in bad people, and I feel like
that's like
people,
downfall.
that's my downfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like one of the things where like would get me. Like,
Yeah.
I would do so much for this person, and it wouldn't be reciprocated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for me, like for the longest, I was stuck in a cycle because I feel like that person got comfortable with just
Yes.
you know allowing shit to happen like that,
Yeah.
and I feel like since he saw that the thing was gonna be always the same, I feel like it got really negative.
Yeah.
And it's just like prior to like just like experiencing all of like the things we went through, I feel like yeah, like it hurt walking away, but the moment like I walked away, I feel like a big like relief on my chest.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Like a weight was lifted off your
Yeah,
shoulders.
definitely. And I would like dim my light for that person because I intimidated. Like, I don't know if it's because of my confidence or what it is, or just how I carry myself. I feel like I always intimidated that person.
Mm-hmm.
But like it like in a sense like intimidating where like, you know, he thought I was better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I distancing myself from him like definitely like made me like feel more confident, and just like cleansing myself from that negativity like just made me think clearer and just like more calm in a sense.
Yeah, and it showed you your value. Like,
Yeah,
what
like it,
you
yeah.
should really value yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And it literally like now to who I am now, like I'm like just more different now, and I just
And I'm
literally,
so
like,
proud of him, guys,
thank
because
you.
now like Brans knows his value.
Yeah, I really do, and I just be telling people the business.
Yes.
Like I be giving them the
Mhm.
business. Like I literally stand on business now.
Mhm. And I love that.
Yeah.
Like, and like saying this like from a friend's perspective,
Yeah.
like you see like what your friends are going through, and obviously like you don't want that for them,
Yeah.
but like, you know, and it's true. I feel like your light like was dimmed like with him. So after that, like you did glow and you did
Right.
start going back, and like they always come back, guys.
They do, honestly,
Like,
and he still does.
Mhm.
Literally.
And that's how you know you're thriving, girl.
No,
like,
literally. No, but yeah, I'm
let me
telling
tell you.
that like you said, like this moment like I detached myself, like
Mhm.
I thought I was gonna like get depressed and everything, but
Yeah.
no, like I really like I started like seeing things for what it was. Like
Mhm.
I'm single right now and I'm celibate and I'm trying to like focus on myself. So now that I'm
Mhm.
doing that, I feel like kind of like just trying to like
Mhm.
get
Really finding yourself
Yes.
and like I love
what
that.
I like. But right now, like
Mhm.
I'm just trying to take it slow.
Yes, oh, I love that.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, guys, like Brian said, it's always gonna be scary like, if you're in a relationship to leave that person, especially like that history behind it. And like in my relationship, like I had to step out for a moment too. We both did for like both of our sakes. Like nothing really bad happened. It was just like we had been together for such a long time, and that, like I said, people grow. You
Mhm.
grow, and you know, sadly, if you don't speak up for like yourself, which is what I was doing, like it kind of ruins your relationship a bit. So like us like having to like get that break apart, like it hurt like hell, you know. I was definitely depressed, like Brans knows, you know, but
Yeah.
like it helped me so much to really like learn my value and my worth and what the fuck I really wanted in
Yeah,
life.
exactly. And you see, and this is what we mean with like walking away
Mm-hmm.
can lead to two different outcomes. Like
Yes.
it helps like for me in that sense, like it helped me like it gave me the courage to literally just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like in your sense it gave you the clarity to know exactly what you needed to work on
Yes.
and what, you know, just what you wanted to improve in.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, like same goes for like him. Like we both kind of like saw what we were lacking in our relationship and what we needed to grow in, and like we kind of like rediscovered ourselves. And like you can have two outcomes. You can, like Brand said, like leave a person and then just find yourself and just be so okay with like this new single you and loving your life. And you can be like me, who was like single for a while and like was also living her life, but also like rekindled with their partner, and now they're in the best place they can ever be. And sometimes relationships need that, and sometimes you need to get out of a relationship permanently.
Like
it
you
just
need that like space to like
Yes.
think clearly,
yes,
basically.
but you know the point here is just sometimes you need to step out. Like you have to know your value, guys. If you feel in any relationship, whether you're in it right now or like it's like a fling, whatever it is, like if you ever feel undervalued and like you feel like you're just not being heard and like it's not being reciprocated, like your love, like step out, take a moment. Like there's still like I said, so much life in you guys that we get so attached to one person and we think like, oh no, but this is my person. Like how do you know? Like spend 3 months away from them, like to really know, like, is this my person or is it not my person? Am I better with them or am I not better with them? Like, do they really love me enough to come back and fight for me and try? And if they're not, then why the fuck are you crying over here? Like, no.
Literally. And you see, like, that to me, like, I feel like those thoughts and those, like, asking yourself those questions, like, transmit to, like, negativity. Because, like, that's not, I mean, what positive can come from those questions?
Yeah.
And, like, that's why, like, for me, like you said, like, walking away was probably the best thing I could ever done. Because, fuck that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I agree, you guys. Like, that's definitely my biggest advice. Like, if you're already questioning, like, your relationship or you feel, like, undervalued, I think that's when you need to really step back and see, like, what's going on here and what do you need to do, and do you really need to step out, or, you know, like, just take charge of your life, because you deserve to have an amazing love life. You deserve to have someone who really values you and loves you for you, and someone who is gonna literally add to your light and make you glow even brighter, you know? So that's just a little bit of relationship advice from us.
Yeah, because those would be like a positive thing, like a good thing, right?
It's supposed to be beautiful. You should never feel like you're undervalued. No one should ever dim your light, and you know, you should really just be 100 with your partner. You know, there should be no doubt in your mind of anything.
I love that.
And now skipping towards like families, like,
oh yes, like family, like negativity with family members.
What do you have to say about like dealing with negative family members?
Because I'm kind of a bitch. I'm like, wait, let me think how I can, like, because I was gonna be like, yeah, I just fucking know these bitches, like, I really like they're not there, but no, like,
well, deal with it now, because back then,
yes, because that's what
you would do it in a negative way.
No, yes, that's what I was trying to explain, like. But first, like, I was very, like, mean, like, impatient, basically. And, like, you know how Mexican families get, like, where, like, they, like...
Just, like, very, like, nosy people.
Yeah, and they like to, like, judge.
Yes, they're so judgy. Like, they're just, like, up in your business when they shouldn't be up in your business.
And obviously, like, I'm obviously, like, different and stuff.
Yeah.
I was always very, like, close about my sexuality and everything in my family. So, like, I never really, like, brought it out because I'm, like, obviously how they are. And, like, I'm, like, they're going to make fun of me or whatever, right? So, I kind of, like, never said anything. But for me, it'd be, like, they would see certain things and, like, they would, like, judge. And I'd be, like, why are you judging me? Like, I don't judge you. Like, you know.
Like, you have no say in my life. Yeah.
Like, I don't judge you. Like, why are you judging me? And I would, like, pop off and be, like, you know, shade go to offend them. Like, oh, like, this is why, like, your husband this. Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, just try to, like, fight fire with fire.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that didn't
and with,
get me
like,
far.
all right, you did have that.
Yeah.
But, like, now you've learned to, like, kind of deal with it in a more, like, grown-up, more manner, I guess. And, like, how did you do that? Like,
it took a lot, because it took a lot of, like I said, when I first started my healing journey, that was, like, probably, like, one of the first things that hit me the hardest, because I feel like you don't want to hate your family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, fuck, like, you know, you want to, like, have a family where, like, you guys can have, like, barbecues and stuff. And, like,
definitely.
Not, like, feel, like, weird, right? So, like, that was one of my first things where I was, like, okay, like, how can I, like, what am I looking at? Like, is this my fault, their fault? But more than anything, like, and I started working on myself, like, I don't want people to look at me like that, because I'm like, if that person is crazy, why am I gonna be crazy?
Yeah.
You know?
Why add to the crazy?
Exactly. And now that I'm getting older, like, you realize that people don't know better. Like, people literally, like, unfortunately, like, my family members, they're from Mexico. Like, they're from a little, like, town. Like, I'm talking about, like, country. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to go to, like a thing in the center to get water vibes.
Yeah.
So, obviously, like, they don't know much. Or, like, they weren't, like, they don't have, like, the best mannerisms. So, I feel like that's why, like, for me, it was, like, okay, like, they don't know better, and they were never taught better, basically.
Yeah.
They don't have the mentality to, like, know, like, oh, like, this is, like, you know, negative, this is toxic. Like, once I started telling myself that, like, I was easier on them.
Yeah.
Because I was, like, I was being easier on myself subconsciously.
Yeah.
Started, like, treating, like, or seeing, like, you know,
their perspective.
And just being more empathetic with them. And then especially when, like, now that, like, obviously, like, I want a family and everything, I'm like, I see how hard it can be.
Definitely.
Like, don't get me wrong, I still be popping off sometimes, but I'm definitely, like, more, if anything, I'm more patient with them.
Yes, I love that.
It's more than anything being more patient, because like I said, unfortunately, like, people, especially when people are older, I feel like it's harder for people to change.
Yeah, and you know, it's so interesting. There's actually a study on that I believe it's like once you hit 40, like, your mindset is literally, like, so hard to change because like your brain is just so developed at that age. That's like in your household, like you don't have the best relationship with your parents and you're constantly trying to change their mindset. Most likely if they're over 40, like you're not going to be able to change their mindset because their mind is already fully developed and those ideas are going to be so hard to take out of like their mind. So I think it's like less than 5% that you're able to change their mind. And that's why I love that you said that you started seeing like, well, this is how they grew up. And you know, obviously back then they had different ideas of how people should be and how they saw the world. And compared to like our generation, we're obviously more liberal, we're obviously more accepting of everybody.
And I don't know like if you've ever been to Mexico or any like Latin place, but I feel like the life there is just different in general, you know? Like, people live a different life.
Yes, exactly. And just, like Brand said, so if you're having, like, issues with your family, like, okay, put yourself in their shoes. Like, realize that they grew up with different concepts, with different ideas. Like, how were their parents? Like, maybe their parents weren't as accepted of, like, these new ideas, and they obviously got that passed down to them. So then, just, like, seeing that each generation is different and kind of accepting that and slowly, you know, start to see like their perspectives, and then you slowly started to like kind of like accept it, but also like still stand your ground, you know?
Yeah, there are moments where I still feel like, you know, my boundaries might be overstepping, but it's not like before where
like you don't take it as personal now.
Yes, exactly. Or like I feel like once I started healing and they started like
seeing that,
they started feeling it too, like they called it out too. They're like, oh, you're just different now, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to like work on myself or whatever.
Like you said, like once you start changing, so then really like in order for you to like deal with that negativity in your family, be the bigger person. Like sometimes that's sadly what you have to do, even if you're dealing with like your parents. Like yeah, they're the adult, and trust me, like I've had parents where like literally like I've been so in shock, like dude, you're the adult here. Like why am I the adult now at like 15 years old? You know, like I've had the experiences. So it's like just really like you yourself being the bigger person, it's gonna change their perspective. And those soon enough like see that, and like, you know, like in Brand's experience, like they saw that, and you know, they slowly like start to like in a way like be kinder to you and accept it. And if you're a good person, you know, God, the universe, whomever you believe in, they're gonna open those doors for you and make it easier for you, and like, you know, give you like a little like nudge and help you out. So then just having faith that if you're kind, if you know you're the bigger person, if you're patient, you know, if you have the right mindset, that it's gonna go smooth for you. Maybe not right away, you know, maybe not, we're not like saying they're gonna fucking throw a party for you, you know, but like, you know, it's gonna get slowly better. So then just having like that positive intentions and like mindset, right? And I want to get into like situations, like how do you deal with like negative environments? You know, because like, I feel like we've both been in like toxic environments, like whether it be like work or just like, I don't know, like in general. How would you say like you've dealt with that?
Feel bad for the person, because I literally like, I'm like, the fact that I don't know what I'm doing to make you feel this way, but the fact that you feel the need to like be negative or even create like a negative experience for me, like that's crazy. Because to me, like I said, and that goes back to like seeing myself in other people's shoes, like something must be going on with you to feel that, because I'm like, you want other people to feel that and you're just projecting on me. And once I found that out, like I literally don't even let people, because I'm like, you're just projecting, honey.
Like don't take it personally.
Don't. I'm like, and I don't no more. I used to take it personal, but I'm like I said, I'm like, a lot of people don't put in the work that they should.
Exactly.
And when you do come across someone who does put in the work and stuff, I feel like that does cause like a little bit of like commotion in a sense, you know what I mean?
Tension there, like
right. Work setting, like I'm kind of like more like quiet and don't do much, because I'm like, I don't want to come off as unprofessional or like hard to work with. I'm more like composed, because I'm like, I need to think about myself, you know, I need to think about my future. Like this is like where I make money, like I need to like be professional. This person like is just projecting, and you're that bitch, and that's why she is mad, because I'm like, you or else, what else a reason? Because I don't really like go around like messing around with people or like stepping on people's toes. You know?
Same. Any setting, like even if you just met this person and being negative, like you don't have to be their friend. Like realize you don't have to be nice to everyone. Like just learn to coexist with people, you know, like a simple hi, hello, like at work. You don't have to go and fucking, how was your weekend? No, like know that you're here to work and make your money, and they are too, and that's it. Like you're not getting paid to be friends, and you don't have to be friends. And some people may see that as like a negative quality, but to me, I'm like, no, like if you're not bringing nothing to my table, if you're not helping me thrive and like reciprocating the same, then I'm not gonna invite you in my circle. Simple as that. Like,
yeah.
I value my energy too much. I value my worth too much to let somebody else invade it. And that's how, like, I've been in my work environments for the longest time. Like, I'm typically very, like, introvert and very quiet to myself. Unless, like, you need me, then I'll be there. And, like, if you start a conversation with me, I'm more than happy to talk to you,
too.
you know? But then that, like, I'm not gonna go around trying to make you my bestie. Like, especially if we're not in the same mindset. We're not, like, if you're not trying to succeed with me, then yeah, like, I'll coexist with you happily, but that's pretty much it. And it's okay to live your life like that, and you don't have to necessarily, like, have friends in a certain area, you know?
Yeah, like, you'll meet your people when you meet your people.
Yes, exactly. The universe is gonna bring them, and, you know, everything's gonna be fine. And if you really are, like, in a toxic work environment, like I was for the longest time, and I really tried my best to, like, okay, you know, just going with the positive mindset, and I would do that, but they would just, like, literally, like, I feel like they would just suck the energy out of me. And it was just so, like, I wanted to get home and just cry. Like, I hated my job and I didn't want to be there. I just started hating everything I did. Like, I used to be so good with, like, the customers and with the patients. Like, this is both, like, in a fast food setting and then, like, as a healthcare worker, like, they both started getting to me. So then I just fucking left. Like, simple as that. Like, you don't have to stay there forever, honey. Like, there's millions of jobs out there. Like, and just have faith that you're gonna find one. And honestly, for me, like, I just started manifesting the perfect job for me. Like, I knew out there had to be a good job for me. I knew there had to be a place where I would get along with coworkers and I would have a great boss and, like, just where I would feel valued. And, like, literally, I would say for, like, 4 days straight, I was applying to, like, everywhere, and I wasn't giving up. And the 4th day, I found, like, the perfect job. So just, like, knowing that you don't have to stay in toxic environments, and knowing that there's so many opportunities for you, and just knowing your value. Like, no, it's okay to walk away. And if you're like me, I feel so guilty. Like, no, like, I've never done that. Like, I can't just quit. Like, I can't just, you know,
me
like,
either, yeah.
I was so dependent, and I was like, no, like, it just looks so bad. But
me too. No, that's literally how bad it would get, though, because we worked together the same job, remember?
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like for me too, like, it got really toxic to the point where, like, I literally just left.
Yeah. And
I was like, because I had people at that point, like, I didn't even know what the fuck I was saying to people. Literally, you know who you are. I had people, like, try to, like, hit me with cups. I had management actually, like
just, like, coming at you, yeah,
like calling me a drug addict and shit. Like, bitch.
I remember.
As if, anyways. And, like, me too. Like, literally, I feel like for me that was my last straw, because I'm like, I sat down and I told myself, I'm like, what the fuck is an amazing person like you doing sitting around with so many mediocre people?
Literally.
I was like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no.
Yeah.
But as I thought, and it's like, how much as anxiety I got, because I got a lot of anxiety just leaving. Because I'm like, but no, if you're toxic, you're toxic.
Yeah.
And like I said, one door closed and then another opportunity opened. And that's why you should not be afraid to walk away, because work should not be a negative place. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you're working and you're like, feel like it's negative, like, no, it shouldn't be like that. Like, I feel like working like with coworkers should be like a union.
Yes, like, you should love going into your job. Like, think about it. You're there 8 hours of the fucking day. Why would you want to be miserable for half of your fucking day? No, like, and that's what I hated. Like, knowing that I was gonna right away, and waking up knowing that I'm gonna go into something negative and then come back, like, literally with such, like, negative mindset too. Like, that just, like, it wasn't okay with me. Like, I didn't want to live my life like that. Like, it just wasn't what I wanted. And you know, you will find, you know, somewhere where you're valued. And like we said, like, it's okay to walk away from situations, from people, from even family sometimes, like that. Even that's, like, what's going to fulfill you and make you happy and help you be at your best state, then do it. Especially when it comes to, like, family, I think, like, they're like, no, you can't just, like, not talk to, like, your mom. You can't just not do this to your aunt. Like, you can't, like, no, like, you can
you
do
could.
it.
You
literally
could.
Yeah, like, do whatever the fuck
like,
you want.
You can't. I was like, but I could.
Do it for your fucking sake, because at the end of the day, what really matters is you, because you're the only one who's gonna be there for you. And unfortunately, like, we don't all have, like, the ideal families. We don't all have, like, the ideal, like, situations.
And no one's perfect. We're not, like, shitting on nobody because they are the way they are. We're saying is, like, you have the option to, like, you know, distance yourself from that. Like, if other people don't make that choice, don't let them make the choice for you, because I feel like that's where a lot of people mess up, where, like, they let other people's opinions cloud their opinion.
Yes, exactly.
And, like, I feel like that's why it's really important whenever you feel like that those moments are going on, like, just distance yourself and just let yourself breathe and just think about what you need to do.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the best advice we can really give. Like, step out of the situation, whatever it is, wherever you feel like that negativity is coming from. Really ask yourself, like, is this worth my time? Is this person really worth it? Like, what is gonna truly make you happy, and what is truly, like, who is truly bringing you like this negative energy? Is it you or is it them? And I'm telling you right now, if you're feeling like this, it's not you. It's probably them.
Literally. And that's why, like, it's important to, like you said, like, just walk away, because you can either realize that it was just like a little bump in the road, or it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, it's just simple as that.
Such a strong note to end on. So I really do hope this was helpful for you guys, and hopefully you're able with this to get rid of all that negative energy around your life, and you're able just to have beautiful positive energy run through your life.
Yes, and with that being said, we will end the video for today. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching today's video. And with that being said, we could only hope for you to keep
growing and glowing. Bye.
Bye.